Hello guys, and welcome back to SVP. Today we're going to be filming a bit of a pre-purchase inspection video, buyer's guide on these Porsche 997 Generation 1 turbos. So I'll be running through any sort of common issues we find on them, and obviously going through this car and seeing what issues this car's got. So the first thing we're going to be checking on this car is going to be the tyres and the brakes. These cars, with the power and performance they provide, they do get through lots of tyres and brakes. So basically checking the tyres for any crack in the age and the date of the tyre, and then checking for the tread level and if there's any, cracks in the side walls, any bulges, anything like that. Same on the rear, and then we'll be checking the discs, checking they're not worn, and the same with the pads. So we'll run through that now. So wheels and tyres, we've got all the tyres all round 7 years old. They're from 2017. The rear tyres are on 2mm on the inner edge, and the front tyres are 3mm on the inner edge. So we expect or suspect there's probably some sort of tracking issue, just causing a little bit on the inner edge. So, and after a road test of the car did feel really nervous on the front end and just not driving right at all. So we would definitely be advising the client to have the geometry checked. The brakes, so they're actually all okay. Pads not too worn down, and the same on the discs. There's plenty of life left in them, so that's a positive. While we're also on the wheels and tyres, we're just going to check that no calipers are seized and check for play up and down, left for right, playing things like any suspension joints and also your ball joints. So we'll do that on all four corners. So we've just checked over for any play in the wheel, so that's checking for wheel bearings, bushes, any play in any of that, or seized calipers, handbrake sticking or dragging, and there's no problems to report there. So we'll send the car up now, have a look at things like brake pipes, and also any sort of other suspension components, drive shaft, CV boots, and all of that lot. So we'll send it up now. So we're now up underneath the car. So we've been taking a look over a couple of bits. As you can see over here, we've got a lot of corrosion. I think this car's probably been living by the sea. All the damper bodies are very corroded. Anything, basically steel, is just starting to fall apart. As you can see, it just flaking away in my hands. All the brake pipes up there, just completely about to let go. CV boots there, they do look okay, which is one bonus. The damper body, as I said, is also now starting to corrode. This side is a very similar story. Brake pipes and damper bodies and anything steel, all the coatings coming off. Towards the back of the car, you've got these chassis brace bars. These are all just starting to flake away, and they'll ultimately corrode, especially now the outer coating's coming off. That just leaves them open to the atmosphere. And the same with this brace bar here. Again, coating's just coming away. And also the same story with the anti-roll bar. Exhaust nuts, they're also completely just falling apart, again due to corrosion, and all on the turbo studs here, like they're just literally just falling apart, and it won't be long until that just falls off. Massive, basically, hole in your exhaust system, which isn't good. The tandem pump up here is completely, again, just corroded. It's just the main story with this car. And the same with the oil scavenge pipes here. They are just, again, the swages on them are just starting to bow open. And yeah, ultimately, again, especially under, the sort of heat and that it's going to be going through, that could fail, and that'll be a very expensive repair, and could also do a lot of damage. Slight water staining here on the joins here. So again, that's another issue. and this tensioner here is also leaking oil. So yeah, to be honest, this one here is a good example to show you really of what you don't want it to look like. I think this is, as I say, probably been living by the sea, just suffering with a lot of corrosion. And the same again, I said brake pipes at the front, the rears have also done exactly the same, and they're going to need replacing. I doubt that would even pass an MOT. And again, all here on the back as well, you've got the CV boots are starting to crack. Again, you know, they're not open and leaking fluid. But yeah, they're not far off. I would also say, just looking at that now, we've got a leaky rear damper. Because if you see here, if I run my fingers on this, that there, it's all like grease and very wet, the damper is up there. And this side here is completely dry. So for comparison, look at that. And then obviously the same, the other side is wet. And that could also probably be not helping the way the car's driving at the minute. So you're going down the road and it's a very, not a nice feeling, very loose, and just the car feels extremely nervous. The rear main and gearbox area does actually seem quite dry. This is another common thing. So that's one positive going for the car. You've got another leak here on this joint here into the oil tank. So, you know, this example will need some money spending on it. You know, it's going to be a lot of labour intensive work to put all this right. So yeah, we'll just carry on now having a little look over some other bits, things like water pipes and stuff. They're also very common to go on these cars. The rear ones, you have to drop the engine out to change them. Apparently it's had them done. According to the history, but we're just going to check over that because we're not so sure. Looking at the state of the rest of the car, I wouldn't have said a lot of this has been touched. And then obviously the same with your front crossover pipes, the water pipes there, and we'll check over the radiators for blockages. Things like leaves and debris get stuck in them, block them up, and then they'll sit in there, never be cleaned out and cause them to corrode, and then ultimately leak and fail. So we'll do that now. So onto the water pipes now. If you look up here, you'll see these ones are actually okay. Not leaking, and to be fair, I think they probably have been done at some point. The rubber does look quite fresh and it's not really cracking or anything. And the same this side as it goes up and along. It comes down here. So they look okay. We'll go and take a look at the fronts. So we've taken a look at the front coolant crossover pipes. These are very heavily corroded. All the joints are flaring out, and I'm surprised they're even holding together. They're that bad. They're some of the worst I've ever seen. The rubber is also cracking due to age. So yeah, really not pretty. So we've taken a look at the front radiators and aircon condensers. These are very corroded. All the fins are basically completely bent over and out of place, probably not actually cooling a lot and letting much airflow through. They're also full of leaves and debris, which sits there and corrodes away and eats away at the surfaces. It's the same story both sides. So bumper will need to be removed and all of the debris removed, and then probably replacement radiator packs. So yeah, the other thing we have noticed is there is an exhaust clamp also completely snapped off the back box. As I said earlier, the exhaust fixings on this car are very corroded. A couple of other things to report. We've just been through the bump stops and the suspension. So the springs are okay, slight corrosion to the coating and stuff. The front bump stops are perished and cracking and not long, and they'll have failed. Other things to note, we've got front headlights are very fogged up. That's probably borderline MOT failure, and the front number plate, while it's readable, it also is all the backing and reflective film starting to chip away. Same story with the other front bump stop, and we're also missing a valve cap off the rear of the car here. So we've taken a look in the engine bay. We found the coolant level to be below minimum, and the aux spout is also starting to crack quite badly due to age. We're now going to run through some basic checks, things like lights and horn, and also the wipers. So at least the horn works. We've now done a full check of the lights. They're all working as they should. We've just checked the wipers. The fluid all comes out as it should. The wipers, however, don't clear the screen very well and skip all over it. So next up, we're going to fire it up, check the aircon and the heater, check all that lot functions as it should. So we've just checked over the aircon and the heater, that's all functioning as it should. Next up, we're going to carry out a battery test on the car. We like to do this on any sort of inspection because again, it will save the customer money if there's a fault, and at least you'll be aware of it, especially this time of year, coming into the winter, where it's a lot more strain on your battery. So we'll go ahead, run the test, see what it says. The battery does look fairly new, so that's saying 85% health, so it's a good battery. So that's one thing. So yeah. So we've just finished off the inspection on this Porsche 997 Turbo Gen 1. We found obviously quite a long list of things, mainly due to corrosion. This is also a good, reason why you should spend your money on your car, look after it, get the maintenance done, don't skip out or skimp on any servicing, make sure it's done to the book and you won't have things like this happen to your car. So thanks very much for watching. If you are interested in having a pre-purchase inspection carried out on your car or any other repair or maintenance work, we can do it all here at SVP. Be sure to book in with us. All of our information's in the description, contact number, telephone, whatever you need, email. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps. Yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.